Hey everybody, back with my wrap-up video for season 3 of Once Upon a Time. Excellent season, of course. Like, so much happened. Maybe too much? I only say that just because, wow, like, Pan and Zelena were such good villains. I wish they would have had a full season just because they were that good. They kind of deserve it. But, you know, it seems like the show does do these, like, half-season big arcs. So, you know, that's what the show is. And if that's what they're going to do, like, I can't imagine, like, 2 better half arcs. Because, the first half with Neverland, I loved it so much. The whole Pan situation, I was so, like, fascinated and, like, interested in like what Pan's deal was. Just the fact that he was a bad guy, I wasn't necessarily expecting that. But man, was he a bad guy. He was the worst. I think he's the worst one we've had. I mean, Cora was the worst, but even she had a backstory that was sympathetic. Whereas Pan, no. He was just garbage the whole time. And you know what? I appreciate that about him. I do, look, I love a redemption arc. I love it. Like, Regina, Rumple, like, give me the redemption. But I do love a villain that is just a straight villain. And Pan was that. He truly was, to the very end. And I like what that whole story meant about, like, because it tied in so well to Peter Pan, because the whole thing of Neverland is never wanting to grow up, and you have this guy who had a kid but just refused to grow up. That's something that happens all the time, and that is such a good metaphor for that, and it just really just worked really, really well. And then halfway through the season, like, just this bomb dropped and we just reset everything. I still can't believe they did that. It worked. It worked so well. It set up the whole Zelena plot and Oz and the Wizard of Oz and that whole narrative that we all pretty much know. Like, Wizard of Oz is one of the most popular films of all time. So, like, I was very familiar with it, and I thought that they handled it so well and had their own little spin to it. But, you know, them all going back to the Enchanted Forest, Emma and Henry just losing their memories and going to New York, how that just changed, that was so cool. And I was, like, concerned about what all that meant, but, like, it really just, I really enjoyed the back half. It's wild because if I had to choose between Pan and Zelena, I think Pan was my favorite villain, but as a whole, I think the back half was my favorite versus the first half. So I think that balance worked really, really well. I really like Zelena. Like I said at the end of the last episode, I don't know. Is she dead? Is she gone? They introduced Elsa. Is Elsa going to be a bad guy? She had like a strut. I don't know if that means anything, but I want to see more of Zelena if she's still a part of the show, because she was really good. Like it was kind of like a new iteration of Regina, someone who just felt wronged and wanted to, you know, use magic to change that. It's a little bit of Regina getting a taste of her own medicine, because that's what she did to Snow White, and then Zelena did it to her. I don't know if they're going to do like a redemption arc for Zelena. She has, I think there's an avenue for that, because I want to see her be that fourth witch. I think that would be really cool. I love that whole situation. So if that happens, I'm here for it. But, like, is Zelena gone? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, great season. Like, structurally, it just, wow, they just wove it all together. They just pull in these well-known characters and just weave it into the story so well. Just excellent. As far as characters go, like, we had a lot of growth, we had a lot of setbacks, we had some tragedies, just everything you want out of a story. Let's start with the Charmings. Emma, she is still Emma, still wanting to define her own story, sometimes to her own detriment, of just wanting to get away from her past and what her family is. And being an orphan is something that she fully accepted about herself early in the season. But, you know, still couldn't get that little bit of run out of her. She really wanted she got a glimpse of life with Henry, and even though it was false, it was comforting, and she wanted to run back to that. And thankfully, by the end of the season, she realized just how much she's grown attached to the Charmings and how much she wants her mom and dad in her life. And I love that. And, you know, she's in this romance with Hook, and I'm curious to see where that's going to go. Like I said, like, I'm still, I don't know if I would say I ship it, because I don't, like, I'm still waiting for that moment where I feel like, yes, like, you know, if I ship something, I'm like, squee about it. Like, I don't feel that yet. And I might not, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance, but you can't force shipping. Shipping is subjective, and it's either gonna happen or it's not. I've shipped most of the characters on the show, like, whatever the show has given me, I've really, like, jumped to. But, like, you know, I really don't ship Philip and Aurora. I would love Aurora to be with Mulan, but that's not gonna happen. So I'm fine with her being with Philip. I don't even know if we're gonna see them again. I still want to see more of Grumpy and Nova. I can't believe they didn't give me that one episode I was living. But yeah, so I don't know where that's gonna go. But, you know, Hook had, you know, an interesting arc too. He's fully, like, in hero lane. Like, they've tried to kind of give him an edge, but, like, he's pretty much just a straight up hero. Like, we don't know that much about his piratey past, but, you know, he was really good to Neil, and he loved Mila, and now he loves Emma. So I kind of, like, put him in, like, with Charming. Like, they have kind of, like, similar characteristics. Hook is more of a flirty, kind of loves himself outwardly, but, you know, probably has insecurities. That's kind of more of his character type. But yeah, I see him as, you know, a hero now. Or really, I don't know if I've ever really considered him a villain. I definitely had expectations that he was going to be a villain, and maybe that gave me a little bit of a bias, but he's, you know, the way he is, like, I am really okay with him being with Emma, because he seems like he's going to be good to her, and that really is what matters most to me, because I really love Emma, and he seems to be good with Henry, which is super important to me. So that's good. The Charmings, they finally got to have what they've really been wanting, is a second chance and have a baby. And they have baby Neil, which I'm never going to be over. I love so much. But they've been through so much, and, you know, they lost Emma for so long. They deserve this. And, you know, Charming had his little earlier thing with getting nicked and being poisoned, and was possibly going to have to stay on the island, but they always figured out. They always find each other. That is always going to be cute to me. But, like, I ship them, but in a way that you, like, I don't really ship them. I, like, think of them as, like, parents in the same way, like, Emma does, I guess. Like, I'm not, like, I need to see their romance, but, like, they are cute, and, like, I want them to be together, because they are obviously true love. So, love them. And now they have their baby, and leave their baby alone. Holy crap. Like, give them a break. Let them be parents. Let them be happy. I gotta say, man, I never thought I'd be here, but Regina may be my favorite character. What? Is that wild? Is that not wild? I never thought it. I never thought it. But man, this season was so good for her. Like, she's snarky when I need her to be. She's got her edge. But she has transformed and sacrificed and given all that she can to be the good person that she's always wanted to be. And I'm terrified of that last little bit, because now she's in the same boat that she was when all this started. She lost a love. Well, did she lose him? I don't know. But I think she might have. because his wife is back. And I just don't see a scenario where they're going to end up together now, which is a bummer because I was for it. I wanted her to, you know, be able to move on. But this is going to be another test for her. Can she make the right choice this time? Because we've seen someone else I haven't talked about yet, Rumpelstiltskin, did not make the right decision. And I don't want her to backslide like that because she's come so far. And I personally feel like she's been redeemed. But, you know, the hero path is not easy. And this is going to be a test for her. And that's kind of the thing I'm most interested in going into season 4. I need to know if Regina is going to be able to keep being a good person even with facing this kind of adversity, because she's going to get her heart broken again. Has she learned? I don't know. I'm scared, but what a journey. Oh man. All right, Rumple, he broke my heart because as much as he's done bad and kind of been back and forth with it, I really thought towards the end that he was like on his right path too. And that's probably short-sighted of me just because I love him so much. Because, yeah, of course he wasn't going to be able to get past his son dying and getting that revenge. Because he's still under the thrall of power, because he's still the Dark One. God, will he ever be able to not be the Dark One? I'm just so upset because Belle deserves the world. And he went behind her back, lied to her face. Belle, he does not deserve her right now. He has some making up to do. And she doesn't even know it yet. But she better know it. She needs to know what he did. They're married now. Holy crap. They're married. But he caused those last 2 episodes to happen because he let Zelena out of jail, and that caused all of that chaos because Emma and Hook got sucked into that time vortex. Oh man, Rumple broke my absolute heart. When I think back on it now, I'm not surprised because his complete motivation has always been Bae. And as much as I hurt when Neil died, I still hurt about it. I know Rumple is even more so because that was like everything to him, finding him. God. The Rumple's journey is going to be fascinating. We still have 4 seasons and I can't wait to see where else we're going. But I am still rooting for his redemption. I can't help it. I love Rumple. I love Rumple and Regina. This is wild. I love the Charmings. But for when I wasn't looking, Regina and Rumple just like took my heart. They did. Henry, who is my ultimate, still my favorite, will never not be my favorite character. He had a really strong first half of the season. Like I loved because you know he had the heart of the truest believer. Like he like set all of that in motion. Like they were there because of him. Pan had him because they wanted his heart. Like that was all based on Henry. And then when they got back, he got switched back into his right body, and then he lost all his memories, which I hated. But he kind of got like pushed to the background while everybody was dealing with everything. And my major motivation watching the show towards the end was like, give him his goddamn memories. He needs his memories. And he got them, and it was so beautiful. It was like the best. One of my favorite moments of the season was when and how he got his memories back. But yeah, like, oh, Henry, like, I just can't wait to see, like, he's getting older, like, what kind of storylines they're going to give him. That's going to be so fun. And, you know, I just want Emma and Regina to raise him and it to be beautiful, even though Regina is going to hate Emma right now because she brought Marion back, so always a wrench, but I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Okay, let's move on to my favorite episodes because I don't want this video to be 1,000 hours long. This was really hard because, this, like I said, this was a really, really strong season. But this is my top 5, my favorites. Not necessarily what I think were the best episodes, just the ones that I watched and I was like, yes, this is everything I wanted. Okay, so number 5 is the finale, There's No Place Like Home. You know, it really fed off the last episode, everything that had set up. We started out with an Emma and Neil date, which I loved, seeing Neil again. And like it's all about the tumblers. Like, I love that. So cute. We got to see the Charmings fall back in love. They had to fix what happened in the last episode, but you know, they were always going to find each other and had their little meet ugly, and everything got fixed. And, you know, it's time to go back home. Oh, we're going to bring this person who, you know, I still, even though it turned out to be Marion and it throws this huge wrench into Regina and Robin, like, yes, you have to save her. Like, of course you do. So I'm glad that they ended up doing that. And that was a hell of a reveal. It being Marion, wow. That was, the show is so good at reveals. They're so good at it. And that one was another really good one because I was way off. I was like, it's Esmeralda. No. We had a little bit of like, oh my God, what happened with Snow like dying? But not really. She was a bug. But still smart enough to escape from the trolls and, you know, have her little moment with Charming again. I really like the moment with Rumple, him choosing to drink the potion to forget, even though he found out this devastating information that Neil had died. Like, Rumple makes good choices sometimes. We just got to be a little bit more consistent. But we also got Emma, like, realizing that she really wants to stay because she loves her family. She was able to get her powers back just by, like, understanding that. That was beautiful. She and Hook got together. Robin and Regina were super happy. And then we got the reveal of the name of the baby being Neil. It meant so much to me. I love that so much. And then the whole Marion stuff happened. It was so wild. So unexpected. And then they had to throw one more wrench into it with, holy shit, now we got Elsa. Like, what is that gonna be? Like, I was just really expecting that to be Selena, and it wasn't. So I don't know what to think. That's gonna be so fun. Like, I'm super excited for season 4 because of where they left off. The show does a finale so well. My number 4 favorite episode was A Curious Thing. We had a lot of the backstory with Robin and Regina, how they were in that year they were gone. So cute. They were like, Regina was being ridiculous, but you could tell she was starting to have feelings for him. And gosh, so, you know, knowing what we know now, it's a lot more bittersweet, but in the moment I really liked it. We got to find out about the Charmings being the one that actually started that curse. Like, they chose to potentially kill Charming to get that curse, but they were able to share a heart, so it worked out. And, you know, of course they did. They're the Charmings. But that was so awesome. We got to see Glinda for the first time. Like, that whole setup, the witches part of it. It was cool to see her in her little winter environment. And my favorite part of the episode was Henry getting his memories back. And how did it happen? Because of Regina's kiss. Like, I love that. It was such a callback to when Emma was able to break the curse the first time. And just proving that Regina's love was as strong as Emma's was so beautiful. And I loved it so much. My other favorite part of the episode was that we got to see that Neil is the one that got the potion to Emma. He was able to break out of that one body he was sharing with his dad to get that final heroic act. I loved it so much. And then at the very end of the episode, we had them going into labor, really set off the final push of the season. And really good episode. My number 3 episode is Think Lovely Thoughts. The best reveal of the entire show so far was that Pan was Rumple's dad. Incredible. I still, like, they did that so well. So well. I was so not even close to thinking that. But once you know, you're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Like, you got to see little Rumple. He was so sweet, and how shitty of a dad he had the whole time. He was always terrible. Just trying to, like, go to Neverland and be a kid forever and abandon his responsibilities. Like, no wonder Rumple made wrong choices and ended up being the dark one. Like, God, your dad sucked. But God, what an episode. We had, like, Henry taking his heart out. Like, of course, like, he would want to do that, because the last time he did a huge, big, heroic act and ate the apple, like, it worked out. So, you know, he's a child. Like, of course he's gonna, like, think that this big, heroic thing is the right thing to do, even though it really wasn't, because Pan did not deserve your heart. But that the season had been leading up to that, and Pan had been manipulating him for so long. Of course, like, he was gonna make that choice. But thankfully, you know, it didn't kill him. But Rumple got put back in Pandora's box, and, like, it was just such a cool episode. Like, the season had been leading up to that, and it just delivered in so many ways. We had Wendy and Bay's reunion. Like, they always had, like, a sweet little story I really liked. Neil really starting to trust Rumple, that he really, really wanted to save Henry. And he did. Like, Rumple was really on his redemption path up until the point that Neil died. So that was good to see, you know, ups and downs, but that was one of the ups in that situation. My number 2 episode favorite of the season is Kansas. Really felt like the finale to me. I liked the last 2 episodes, but, like, that Kansas was, like, the culmination of everything we had been dealing with. And it just, Regina using her light magic and just, like, being the hero she's been meant to be was so beautiful. I loved it so much. It's where we got the 4 witches of, like, seeing what Zelena almost was able to be, but, like, dealing with prophecy and, like, letting her life be led by that, in the same way we had to deal with Rumple thinking that Henry was going to be his undoing. Like, she felt that way about Dorothy. And God, that's why I want more with her, because I feel like we can get there. But God, that was so good. And we also had Emma in the Hook situation. I really thought the season was going to end with her kissing him, and it was going to be this most romantical moment. But, like, no, they were like, nope, we need her to do CPR, and this is how we're going to get out of this situation. And I thought that was a cool little twist. I wasn't expecting that. Snow had her baby, immediately got taken by Zelena. Like, God, give these parents a break. You'll let them be with their child. But, you know, they got him back. They got little Neil back. One of my absolutely favorite moments, until it got yanked away from me, was the proposal for Rumple and Belle. Because, like I said, I think they're my favorite ship of the show. They've just gone through so much, even though what happened in this episode really soured things for me a little bit. And if they can redeem it, I'll hop right back on board. But Belle deserves better. Him lying to her face and causing the time vortex to open because he couldn't let it go. Neil wouldn't have wanted that, Rumple. You know he wouldn't have, but Rumple's still the dark one. That's still something he's fighting with. And he wanted his revenge. But yeah, like, that episode was so, like, I think my last 2 seasons, I've had the season finale be my favorite episode. And this was close. This is my second favorite, but, like, it really did feel like a finale, and that's why I loved it so much. And my favorite episode of the season was Going Home. Really a game changer. Just unexpected, but it was such a big swing for the show to take. Like, you mean you're going to take everything away that we know of the show and just make it go away? make Emma go back to the very beginning where she doesn't remember any of these people, and take Henry too, and change the fact that she never gave him away. I couldn't believe it. And they really stuck the landing with the last part of the season. I like this episode more now that I've seen the rest of the season, because they really pulled it off with what they set up with this episode. And then we had Rumple dying. I mean, he really did die. I was just like in denial the whole time. And, you know, in the way that I meant that he wasn't gone from the show. Like, I was like, no way, no way, no way. And he wasn't. Like, him being put into Neil's body was wild after that. Like, woo, still sad. But, like, okay, that's how they brought him back. That was cool. But, like, his fight with his dad, and just, like, sacrificing himself, which is something Regina's done too. Like, I was like, yes, he's back on, like, he is so close to his redemption. And no, he's not. But that was such a defining moment for him, to let go, like, to kill his dad, to let go of his past in that way was so important. And just, and then Belle's face when she was like, oh God, that was so hard. And, like, they were all, like, frozen. They couldn't do anything. They were just witnessing it happening. It was so sad, but so good. But then right after that, Regina made her sacrifice of, like, letting Henry go. Like, I never would have thought that was going to happen. But that's when I was like, okay, Regina is really on the right path now. God, that was so great. But it was so sad, because, like, she really let Henry not know her anymore. Let go of the curse, this thing that, like, started everything. She let it go. And I was like, yes, Regina. So, such a big moment for her. So yeah, Rumple and Regina, Rumple, Regina, and Henry are, like, my favorite three. Well, and Neil, but he's dead. Those are my favorite characters right now. And Emma too. Emma, I guess, would be 5. But, yeah, such a good episode for them. Okay, that is my top 5. Let me know what your guys are. It's interesting to see the differences. But yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, let's get into some of you guys' questions. I'm going to start with my patrons. Heidi, she asked, what are my overall thoughts about Emma and Killian's relationship? Would I prefer them over Emma choosing to get back with Neil? It's complicated, because I was into the idea of Emma and Neil, especially because the reason they weren't together was not because they didn't want to be. It's because Pinocchio had come and told Neil that he needed to leave her alone for all of this to go down. So it wasn't that she didn't want to be with him or he didn't want to be with her. It was, like, extenuating circumstances. And, like, he's Henry's father. So in the same way that I'm probably going to be okay with Robin getting back with Marion, because they were only apart because Marion died. Like, I feel like I would have wanted them to have a shot at least. And if it didn't work out then, okay, I would be okay with her moving on with Killian. And Neil died, so that never even got a chance to happen. So now they really can't be together. So I'm still processing all this, but I think I'll be able to move on. And I don't know if I'm ever going to ship Emma and Hook. I don't know. I don't feel that, like, emotional connection to them yet. I don't know if I'm ever going to, but there's 4 seasons. Like, I didn't think I was ever going to love Regina either, and here we are. So things change. And now that Neil is completely gone, that's not something I'm going to be able to hold on to anymore. So I'm going to give them a fair shake. And, everything that's happened so far, they're cute. Like, Hook has really done right by Emma, and that's really all I need. I like his flirting is not my favorite thing. I just don't like when guys are like, I'm the best. Like, of course you're going to love me. Like, I'm just the most handsome, and, like, that's not really what I'm into. But, like, Emma's into him, and, like, good for her. And, like, he would do anything for her, and that's awesome. Like, he got rid of his boat for her. That's cool. So I'm interested to see where their story's going, and I'm gonna give them a chance. But I have to say, like, that, like, I thought Hook and Tinkerbell would have been cute. I would kind of ship Regina and Emma. Like, I'm open to a lot of things. So I'm just going to keep watching the show and see what it gives me and see how I feel, because it is just like feelings, like how seeing two people together makes me feel, and who knows. Heidi also wanted to know how I feel about how Henry, his arc kind of concluded with the whole Neverland story. And she didn't really like what they did, but I actually do, because of the fact that Henry's a child and he did something he thought was heroic, and he was wrong. But he's a child. They're not going to always know the right thing to do. And because it worked out last time and he ate the apple, it was super dangerous. He really shouldn't have done that. But it got them to where they needed to be. It got Emma he got Emma to start believing. So it worked for him once. Of course he's going to be like, yes, I'm going to give my heart because I'm the truest believer and it's what I need to do. And it was the wrong decision. But he had been, like, the whole season, he had been being manipulated by Pan. But he was still Henry at his core, and he just made the wrong decision. But I'm okay with that. Like, I think it's good that he got to see, like, the perils of just blindly doing, like, because I don't agree with what Charming did, keeping the secret from Snow that he was injured. Like, that's a stupidly heroic thing to do. And, you know, like, not all heroic acts are like the smartest thing to do. So it's learning curve. And I was fine with what they did with it. Also, Heidi wanted to know if I felt any kind of way of, like, not really getting a Pan and Hook storyline. And yeah, I do. Like, I would have loved that. That's classic. They have such a good rivalry, and I would have liked to see more with that. I would have liked just to see, like, I really wish Pan's story had lasted a whole season. Give Zelena all of season 4. Give Pan all of season 3. That would have been preferable to me. But yeah, I would have loved to see more with them two interacting, just because Pan was such a good villain, and Hook, like, their back and forth was really good. I was really into it, like, the little bit that we did get. So yeah, I would have liked more there. Okay, next up, my patron Miguelito, he wants to know what was my favorite twist of the season. And, I mean, the twist that, you know, going home, that was, like, the hugest twist. Amazing. It really was just, like, this Hail Mary they threw. Like, I didn't see it coming, and it worked out. Like, they really plotted it really well. So I would say that was the biggest twist, but, like, Pan being Rumple's dad was my favorite reveal. I don't know if that would count as a twist. Maybe. Those two, though, right there. But yeah, like I said, the show does it so well. Their reveals, their twists, whatever you want to call them, like, they do, like, several. He listed, like, Pan being Rumple's dad, Selena being Regina's sister, Snow and Charming's curse, Rumple and Neil being in one mind. The show is so good at it, so good. But going home was really just this out of nowhere, I couldn't believe what I was watching situation. Okay, and his final question, he wanted to know how I feel about them tackling Frozen. Is it because of, you know, how popular Frozen was? I have to say I'm pretty shocked by it, just because it's so new. And, you know, everyone they've done really so far has just been in such a classic character. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Like, how's Elsa going to be? Are we going to have Anna? Like, oh my God, are we going to have the little snowman? Oh, I can't remember his name right now. But, like, how many characters are they going to pull in? Like, what is... I'm interested. But, yeah, like, I can't believe we got Frozen before we got Aladdin. Where the hell is Aladdin and Jasmine? Can we get them first? But I'm going to give it a shot. Like, I give everything a shot. Like, I'm interested to see. Elsa's a really strong female character, which is something I super love. So, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, next up, Linda on my Patreon. She wanted to know, in the last episode, I didn't really have a big reaction to Hook revealing that he had given away his boat for Emma to get to her. I have to say, like, I responded to her directly just because, like, it's not that I don't like Hook. It's that it had come right after we found out about Neil, that the baby being named Neil, and I was super, like, I cried, like, I was very emotional. And it wasn't that surprising to me that that was something that he would do, just because he's been so all in on Emma for so long that I was like, of course he would. Of course he would. like he wants to be with Emma. He would do anything. So, you know, I'm not emotionally invested in their romance right now. And that may, like I said, it may change. It may not change. But yeah, I was just in a different place in that moment. I was still like being so like sad and happy and just like bittersweet feelings of the baby being Neil. So that like happened directly after that. So I really just, you know, wasn't fully emotionally attached to that moment. But I get it. Like a bunch of you guys like Hook and Emma. Like from what I can tell just from the comments, it seems like a very popular ship. And good for you guys. Like I'm so happy for y'all. Am I going to jump on the ship? I don't know. Time will tell. We will see. But that's really why. Okay, last question from my Patreon is Liam. He wanted to know how I see Zelena compared to all the other villains. He really likes her. And I really like her too. If you had to push me, I would say I enjoyed Pan as a villain more this season. But the arc of the Zelena story, like, was really good. Like, 3 out of my 5 favorite episodes were in the Zelena arc. So, I really like it. And I hope she's not gone. Because I was really expecting that to be her at the very end, not Elsa. So, but yeah, like her plan was really clever. She really went at Regina really hard. And, you know, she's wicked, and I like that. But I also can see a redemption possibly for her. So I'm interested in that. But she was really, really good as a villain. She has a backstory. She felt unloved, and usually if there's like a backstory, that there's something there that we can find. But like I said, like I do love a straight up evil villain, and Pan was that for me. And the actor really killed it. Like I just loved him so much. So if we get more of Zelena, I'm be so into that because it expand her character more. I want to know more about her. I'm intrigued, and she really did have a really good. Because like not many people could have come off that Pan storyline and picked up the slack, and she really did. So yeah, I really like Zelena. I hope we get more of her. I hope that wasn't it. Okay, next up are my questions from YouTube. Susan has a few. She wants to know, this is one of her favorite seasons. How did I feel about the season as a whole? I've talked about it a lot, but this is my favorite so far. I would say 3, then 1, and then 2 are my rankings. But yeah, the season was incredible. How did I feel about Outlaw Queen, Robin and Regina? I really like them, but I am prepared to let it go because I think Marion coming back spells the end for them. Maybe not because he's supposed to be her soulmate, but I just don't see a way that it's going to work out with Marion in the picture. So yeah, bummed is how I feel about them, even though I really thought they were sweet. Do I like the way they developed Captain Swan? That's Emma and Hook. Yeah, like I said, I've talked about them a lot. It made sense to me that they got together in the way it built up. So I'm not mad at it. It's yet to be seen whether or not I ship it. How do I feel about Killian as a character? I like him. Like, he's a good guy. I wish they would give him a storyline away from Emma. Like, I get that he loves her. I just want, like, something else. Like, I really liked his little something that he had with Pan. Like, the whole Rumple stuff with him was really good. But it's just been about Emma for him for a while. So I would like to see something else with him. But he's a good guy. Like, I like him. What is my favorite moment of Rumbelle? It would have been him giving her the dagger, but it was all tarnished because of him lying about it. I think my favorite moment of them is in the first season, episode 12, I think, when they first got together. It was just so sweet. I've shipped it since that episode. So I think that was my favorite. All the chip cup of it all. And I love them. What is my personal favorite scene from this season? Oof. Finding out that Pam was Rumple's dad was up there, man. Regina kissing Henry using the light magic. Loved all of that. Loved it all. Oh, loved all of that so much. Emma realizing that she really wants to be with her parents and how terrible it felt to be away from them. Loved that. Everything with Rumple. So many seasons. I can't. So many. Next up is Voron Stark. They wanted to know, how did I feel about the whole time traveling shenanigans with Emma and Hook? How do I feel about, oh, well, let me answer the first part. It was cool. Like, I liked how they used the Back to the Future-ness of it all. Like I said, I was a little upset that they were screwing with the love story of the Charmings, but it all worked out in the end. And it kind of felt like an epilogue to the season, because like I said, I really felt like Kansas felt like the season finale for me. So it was kind of like an epilogue one-off thing, and I kind of like that. So yeah, it was fun. They also wanted to know, how did I feel about the Frozen arc, hinting at next season. Yeah, I've already answered this, but I was surprised, I was shocked, not expecting it, and I'm just curious to see what they're going to do with it. Next up is Stolen Comment. They want to know, what was my favorite season 3 plot twist? Pan as Rumple's father, or Zelena as Regina's sister. The Pan Rumple thing. That one was, like, okay, I was not expecting Zelena to be Regina's sister, but it wasn't as much of a build-up as, because I was just wanting to know so much about Pan at that point. I was like, who is he? Like, what is his deal? And that was just, like, so good. So that one. They also wanted to know, do I ship Captain Swan, that's Hook and Emma, more than Swan Fire? So I guess that's Bellfire and Emma. Right now, I still have lingering feelings of Neil and Emma, just because I really thought they had good chemistry and I liked them together, and he's Henry's dad, and it was so cute. But Neil's dead, and I have to come to terms with that. So I would say Swan Fire, but it doesn't matter. Okay, next up is Paula. She wanted to know, who was my favorite villain of this season. It's Pan. Like, he was so good. So good. Like, it's no knock to Zelena, because I really like her. And if we get more of her, like, there's potential for me to like her even more. But Pan was just, he was just everything I wanted him to be. Next up is Sandra. She wanted to know, what fairy tale Disney characters would I want to see? Aladdin. I want to see Jasmine. I want to see Aladdin. I want to see Abu, maybe. Jafar would be cool. But yeah, that. Such a classic, seminal movie for me growing up. So that is one that I would most want to see. Next up is Jaden. They want to know if I would please watch Stranger Things. I've seen it. He wanted to know if I'm watching any other horror TV shows. You know, I'm really not watching any TV right now other than the ones I'm doing reactions to. I've seen a bunch of TV shows previously to me starting this, but once I started doing reactions, I kind of just stopped watching anything new, because I'm like, what could I can possibly do a reaction to it? I don't want to watch it. So there's a bunch of like newer type shows that I've not seen. But I thought maybe doing that Stephen King anthology show that's on Hulu. I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, I would be interested in doing like another horror type show. Okay, last up is Hi Hello. They wanted to know if I was going to react to the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland show. They said it'd be a good time to do it now, but I mean, I guess I could do it now. I could do an episode of Once Upon a Time and then the Wonderland show, but that would be taking away an episode of Once Upon a Time, and I don't know if you guys want me to do that. I guess I could do a poll, and whatever wins, I'll do that. We'll see. Okay, that's all my questions. Thanks for all you guys like writing in. That's cool that you're like caring what I think about things. So thanks. Hey everybody, editing Shelly here. I realized that I forgot a question and I wanted to answer it because it's really important. Clary Boo wanted to know who is my unsung hero for the season, and it is absolutely Belle. She gets no respect. She does everything she's supposed to do. She is so capable, but she gets treated like dirt by her dad or Rumple or whoever. She is absolutely the unsung hero. People need to treat her better, and she needs to be featured more. So my unsung hero is without a doubt Belle. Okay, last up are my predictions. Going back to what I thought was going to happen in season 3, I said that Regina would get a love interest. I was absolutely correct about that one. I'm not as thrilled as I was prior to the last episode because that may be coming to an end because of Marion being involved now, but I was right. She got a love interest. Okay, my next prediction was that I thought that Peter Pan was not going to be the bad guy. I thought that was going to be like a bait and switch situation. And I was dead wrong because he was a bad guy through and through. And I was glad that I was wrong because he was so good at it. So, no to that one. Okay, my third prediction was that, I guess, some characters that we would see. I said Ariel, Quasimodo, Jasmine, and Cruella de Vil. And I got 1 out of 4. We got Ariel. So, I get 25% right on that one. I think I've predicted Jasmine every season, and I'm going to continue to predict her just because I want to see Jasmine. She's so classic. Give me her. Okay, and my last prediction was that everyone was going to end up in the Enchanted Forest by the end of the season, and that is a no. They kind of all went back at the half of the season. I would have given myself credit for that, even though Emma and Henry weren't a part of it, but almost everybody went back. So, no, because I said the end of the season. So, but I was on like a right track somewhere around in there. So we'll say like half right maybe. Do I get credit on that one? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about what I think is going to happen next season. Okay, prediction number 1, as sad as it makes me, I think Robin and Marion are going to get back together and Regina is going to be pissed. And I hope she doesn't do something as bad as she did last time with the Daniel situation, with creating a whole curse because of it. Maybe I'm hoping she's grown from that. But yeah, I think Outlaw Queen, I think that's her name. I think that's over. I'd like to be wrong, although I don't know if I don't know if that's true, because Marion and Robin were in love. They have a kid. Like, what are you gonna do? But yeah. Either way, I think they're done though, and that makes me sad, but that's what I think. My next prediction is I think Elsa is gonna be not necessarily a villain, but I don't think people are gonna like her, and I don't really know what I'm basing that off on other than her strut, but that's what I'm basing it off of. She looked like she had attitude, and you know Elsa in the Frozen story was. People didn't get her. Like, she went to go live by herself because, you know, she controlled her powers and people were afraid of her. And, like, I think she's going to be not a villain, but maybe, like, an antagonist in some kind of way. We'll see. Okay, my third prediction, I usually predict, like, characters that I want to see. So, Jasmine, again, I'm going to predict her every time until we see her. We better see her. Jasmine, I'm going to say Tiana. I'm going to say something from the Lion King. Like, I know they're like animals, but they have like Pongo. Like, they could have some, like a Zazu or something. I'm going to say Zazu. Okay, my fourth prediction, I'm going to say that Zelena is still around. I'm going to say that she's still going to be the villain of the show, at least for the first half. Even though they've got the whole frozenness all going on, I still think Zelena is a player. And I think she's going to be a focus of at least the first half of this next season. So that is my prediction. Okay, that's it. I feel like I've been talking forever. So, so excited for season 4. Don't know what to expect, but season 3 was such a ride. I can't wait to see what they've got cooked up. So thanks for all your guys' support this season. God, I've had a lot of like time off in between. Like 2020 is relentless. It will not let up, but we're still out here. We're still watching Once Upon a Time, and I'm excited to keep going. So thanks for everything, guys. I will be back soon.